This is a Your Last Resorts production.
And welcome back to the Your Last Resort podcast with your host, Brandon Lejean, a.k.a. The Shoe Comic. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm a little hungover this morning from watching the McGregor fight. It was a good fight, but the more important thing is my guest this week is Maxwell Menzies, director and writer of the new movie, The Next Generation, Sorplecum, Poseltoy. I said it right. Yes, I practiced that like 10 times before we started recording, guys. He's also my cousin. So it's good to have you on, buddy. Thank you for joining the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank you for having me. I like finding out that you're hungover as we're starting the recording.
Yeah, man. I'm all right though. I just, I got some tea. I'm waking up, but when my alarm, I woke up, to get stuff ready for this, and I definitely was like, I wish I could have slept until 3 p.m. But there's football on and stuff, man. So we got to get to the recording and all that. It's a Sunday here, guys. We're about to watch championship weekend after this, or at least I am. So
Bucks are in it too.
Yes, the Bucks are in it. That's funny. I always think that you're a Bucks fan, but I know deep down you don't really care that much. But
I don't really care that much. But when they're in the playoffs and they might go to the Super Bowl, that's when I start caring. That's when I start buying merch.
That's the best time to be a fan, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. So I want to talk to you so much about your new movie. But before we do that, we kind of kick it off with a would you rather to kind of get, some people get a little uncomfortable on camera. Obviously, I don't expect you to, but would you rather go a year without washing your hair or a month without brushing your teeth?
I feel like I've done maybe both of these things, to be honest. So this is a pretty easy one. I'm a pretty filthy kind of guy.
Yeah.
I know I definitely did not brush my teeth for a long time in when I was I don't know, I want to say 10 years old or something.
Yeah, just didn't.
And I
feel
came
like
back with
Just didn't feel like it, or what?
I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't I just didn't. There was just a part of me that was like, oh yeah, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
It's not something
that registered.
I think actually it was just for a week because it was for a camp or something.
Okay.
And then I came back and my dad smelled my breath and was like, what are you doing? He could smell it from me, 2 feet high or however tall I was up to where he was at. So apparently it was awful.
That's awesome.
So I think I would take a year with not washing my hair just because it's I wake up every morning like this.
Yeah, I guess.
Can't get much worse.
Fair enough. I guess that's true. Yeah. I don't know, I guess you could wear hats and you could kind of maybe spray some cologne on your hair or some shit, but the mouth not brushing your teeth for a whole month would just smell so, and the taste imagine if you go out and have a meal that's a garlic onion base thing and it's delicious, but that you ever eat a meal and it was so good but you kind of can't wait to get the taste out of your mouth. It would be that kind of situation. I think I would go, and especially now with masks, you'd be murdering yourself having to smell your own breath.
You'd be murdering yourself. Yeah, honestly it might be easier to get away with though if you wanted to do less time.
That's true. Yeah, it is less. A year is a long time to not wash your hair.
Speaking of, it's been almost a year since we've been in quarantine. I know that's not what we want to talk about. But
no, it's fine.
Crazy.
It is weird because it did not seem like it was going to be, a whole year. Remember when it was...
Whoa! Oh, my dog just attacked me.
What just happened?
Look, this dog just ran out of nowhere and attacked me.
Shoot. Oh, the dog is so cute. It was wearing the mask for a second.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Hey, real quick, I'll edit this part out. Can you try turning the volume down just a little bit more? The reverb is coming back.
Yeah, sorry.
No, no,
I
no,
know
it's
this
all
is.
good. I kind of like it because actually I probably won't edit this part out because it kind
Uh,
of reminds me of like the little sounds that are like throughout your movie. Like there's kind of little like it sounds evil. I don't because you probably can't hear it, but it's like
yeah,
so it sounds a
yeah.
lot like the creatures in some of the scenes in your movie, which is the perfect segue. Shout out myself for such a great segue. I want to talk about your movie, dude. It was awesome, and I don't know how you are at receiving compliments, but I
Uh,
really enjoyed it. For anyone listening, I highly suggest watching it. You can find it on YouTube, and it's the link will be on here. The link will be in the bio if you want to look it up. It's Next Generation, Sorplecum, Poseltoy. Said it right twice. Fuck with me. Um, but dude, can you kind of give the people and the listeners a little bit about like what the movie's about? Give them a run over. You'll do a better job than I would.
I don't know that I will be able to. It's so hard to explain because there's so many things, but okay, I think I might have got it down.
Yeah, I want to hear
Um,
yours, and I'll give you mine after, so you can hear from someone else what they took it as.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so the way I say it for like two lines is uh, the president of the United States wants to live forever, so he builds a supercomputer to store his soul in once he's dead.
Yes.
But in that computer, all of the test subject ghosts. That's where it gets hard to
No,
explain.
I agree with you. They're versions of the perfect ghost that they're
Yeah.
trying to create and find.
Yes, they're all dead people who are not perfect. Not
Yeah.
perfect in quotes.
Uh-huh.
They're they on their quest to find the perfect ghost, which is a perfect recreation of a human soul, which is the key to the government's plan.
Yes.
Bear with me. On their way to find it, they realize that there's something in this computer that is much more revolutionary and much more awesome
Mhm.
than the government has in store. That's, I guess, it.
Dude, that's a good way of explaining it because well, okay, so a funny thing is I watched it with our other cousin Travis who was just recently on the
hmm
podcast too. He
hmm
he like pauses it right before it starts and he's like, "Okay, listen. This is a very deep movie. It's think of it. He's a Stanford graduate. It has to do with communism and government and there's going to be so many underlying things that you don't understand." And I'm like, okay, I'm going to really pay attention and figure out like the divine underlying tone of this movie. And I'm not saying it's not a complex movie, but like
uh,
I the when the what I had prepared in my mind going into the
yeah,
movie was not what it was. And it was great, but
perfect.
by the end of it I had some like prolific like underlying meaning of what you were trying to portray in the movie
Yes.
and what I came up with, and you could tell me if there's any truth to this, is that your
Mm.
whole thing is you're showing that no one is perfect and that in the search for perfectness we like lose ourselves because all these people like one wants to kill the perfect ghost and they're all chasing after him and they lose sight of everything except trying to be perfect and then at the end they realize that like everyone is perfect in their own individual way, like there's no real definition of what perfect is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. That's
Okay.
exactly it. It's and I guess you could even go more if we're gonna spoil it a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sorry, spoilers.
I mean, I'm assuming everyone has seen the movie or is not gonna watch the movie because, to be honest, until I until I'm Steven Spielberg,
Yes.
I doubt that. But anyways,
It's a good movie, guys. Go watch it, even though I spoiled part of it. Like I spoiled part of it, but you'll still be able to enjoy the movie because there's a
I
lot of
think
stuff that I
so.
didn't include.
That's why I think it's yeah.
I'll edit in like right before I go on that spiel. I'll put like a big like spoiler coming so that anyone can skip it if they want to.
Yeah, for sure. But no worries. I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Oh, about perfect. It's not even that it's like I wanted at the end that for them to be like, and I think when I maybe like edit it, I'm gonna re-edit it because, as you mentioned,
Director's
like there's some
cut?
sound.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Huh?
I said
Yeah, it's
director's
gonna be the
cut.
Zack Snyder cut.
4 hours? Hell yeah.
I'm gonna do the Zack Snyder cut, and I'm gonna remove my mustache at the end when I'm the president or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll like spend, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of dollars to add a mustache, like a
You
really
should make
good
yourself blue like Avatar people too.
look.
Budget.
That's right. That's what I'll do. I'll be blue.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's not that it's like they're like you can be perfect in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to be more, or not to be more like it has to be one way or the other. Just more like they get rid of the idea, because perfection is just like, how easily can you replicate, what the president wants you to be, right?
Yeah.
Or, obviously that's like me going a little bit further, but like how easily can you replicate being a mindless drone in society or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they go, that's why the screen explodes, and then they, the ending I still have to fix a little bit, but that's why when they are like, exploding and saying whatever the frick they want. Can I cuss on this?
Oh, you could. I say fuck and cunt so much on this podcast. You're okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's why then they start saying whatever the fuck they want, kind of like what the parade was doing in the middle section.
Oh yeah.
They're like, forget perfection. That's we're gonna go on our own. We're gonna make it's kind of like a fourth wall break too, because then they're like, we're gonna make the movie about whatever we want.
Yeah.
And not about whatever it was about before.
I love it, dude.
Yeah. So that was my idea, kind of.
No, that's super cool. Because correct me if I'm wrong. This script and movie originated from you had to do a senior project, right? At Stanford. Was that rumor true?
Yeah, that's a correct rumor. Actually, I applied to the honors program with it.
Okay.
Not to bore the audience, but I was in Japan at the time, like with school. I was like working for, some people.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like desperately like stuck in Japan. Like it was me. It was almost like quarantine, to be honest. It was like I was in Kyoto, which is a beautiful city, but is like sleepy. It's old people, and God bless Kyoto, God bless Japan, but it's just old people.
Yeah.
Old people in temples. There's no like nightlife. There's no. So I would get back home from work and go to my like 10 square foot apartment, or like, I don't know, probably less than that, and just sit and be like, okay, I'm gonna watch movies now. And then I was just going crazy.
Yeah,
so
especially because do you know, I know you speak or know and dabble in a couple languages. Is Japanese one of them or no?
Yeah, I was required to have like 2 years of Japanese beforehand, so my Japanese is good. But it's still like, if I'm gonna go to a bar, people are gonna treat me like a foreigner and be like, oh, how are you today?
Yeah,
It's
like
just like
talk to you really slow, and it's not like a genuine conversation where you could, I
yeah,
suppose, build like friendships and relationships with people out there because you're
definitely
somewhat
not.
limited in the language.
With my bosses, it was okay. My bosses were cool, and they like were speaking enough Japanese with me where they were like they could, they knew I could speak it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, definitely other people, it was just hard. And plus, the other people that were around were like not my age.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Damn, that's crazy. So did you write most of it out in Japan?
yeah, that's what I was getting to. I was just like stir crazy, and I had to do something. So yeah, I was writing most of it. I just like invented a world like this world here.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and then I was like, I'll apply to the honors program.
Dude, no, that's super cool. How long did it take you to write it? Like to when you were like, I'm ready to make this. How long do you think it took to write? Were there a bunch of rewrites? What was the process kind of like? I'm so fascinated by all of that.
Uh, my process is a little bit like not maybe fascinating.
Yeah.
I just wrote it in like maybe I it took me like I want to say like a month,
Okay.
and then I was like, because I just was like getting it all down, and then I think
Yeah.
probably the final script was done in like January or like
Mm-hmm.
December, and so I had started it in August, I guess.
Okay.
So I guess that is a while, but I had the bulk of it. Like I had it done
Yeah.
soon, and so I was preparing. I was making costumes all through um, the fall. So like
Okay.
September to December, I was making costumes,
Yeah, because you made all
and
the
then
costumes in the movie, right? That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. But well, I think like one or two of them are some other are other people, but
Yeah.
most of them are yeah me. Except I think I credit them as like Johnny Soupy or someone.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who makes the costumes, if it's Johnny Soupy or someone else, or Johnny Batsu. I've got some name for them.
Yeah, no, I love all the names. Like Dr. Machina is a great
Oh yeah,
is a great name.
Doctor Nakimas, which
Nakimas, there we go, yeah.
Nakimas means to cry in Japanese. So
That's awesome.
he's
I never
he's
have known that.
he's Doctor McCry.
Yeah, no, the movie, the plot of it was super like it's not hard to follow, like even though if you guys are listening, we might have made it sound complicated. But like I said, that was my
Mhm.
other cousin like preparing me that I think I was watching like a deep think piece that I actually at one point I go, "Oh, so is the movie gonna be all with subtitles?" Because I thought it was gonna be like a subtitle movie in a different language. The way he was
Uh-huh.
making, I was like, I don't do well with my attention span doesn't do well with subtitles. Um,
Yeah.
but it was super good, and there were so many funny characters and funny moments that like genuinely made all of us laugh. Erica watched it too, and she told me to tell you that
Mhm.
she really enjoyed it.
Oh, sick.
Uh,
Thank you so
I
much.
liked you got to give a shout out to if I don't know if they'll end up listening to this because you're on it, but they were two girls and they like were I don't know how to, they were in the computer, they were AIs, and these two AIs were
Mhm.
almost like buddies, and they're the ones that lead the one guy down the street to the end. Like the last
Yeah.
ones you see, those two girls were hilarious. Like their
Yes.
characters and their dynamic were they were my some of my two favorites. And then obviously I loved you as the president and stuff like that.
Thank you.
And I
Yeah, actually the story with them is they're like best friends. Like
okay.
part of it too was like it's kind of weird because it almost like anticipated the like quarantine thing,
Uh-huh.
but like part of it was that I was like I just want to have like all of my Stanford friends, like as many people that are around me as possible be in
Yeah.
this movie. so that they can see themselves, in the movie, right?
Yeah, no, that's super cool.
And then quarantine happened, and then we're all split apart, and then finally
Yeah.
we get to see each other together again in this movie. So I was like, that was kind of felt good.
No,
But
that's
yeah,
awesome.
the two of them are just like have been roommates since like freshman year,
Wow.
and one of them is a dancer, and the other one's like um, I don't want to presume to say what she is doing now, but she's a actress as well.
Okay.
But yeah, they're like so tight, and so like they've got a bunch of inside jokes and stuff that I just was like, okay, just do those inside jokes. And that's why
Yeah.
I'd like their scenes are so good because it's just them doing their shit, and
Yeah, the
then they
chemistry
dance together.
transfers.
Huh?
The chemistry of their friendship, you can clearly see it transfer onto the
Yes, yes.
no,
Yeah, it was so yeah.
it was good, dude. I gotta what do I gotta do to get a part in your next movie? Are you do I gotta do Weinstein style things to get in the movie?
No, no, don't say that.
I'm
No.
kidding, guys. This is you asked me before not to get you canceled. He does not does
Don't
not
cancel me,
do
guys.
anything like Weinstein guys.
I've been
Um
yeah. Give me at
don't
least yeah. Just wait till I'm like 30 or something and I have like give me $1 million and then
okay.
and then I can drop off the face of the earth.
Yeah, the stipulation that you didn't read in the fine print of the contract when you agreed to do this podcast is you'll
Oh
never be able to
no.
host the Oscars. No one who
Oh
ever does this
no.
podcast can host the Oscars because someone's gonna find. I'm gonna actually be the one who leaks it if you ever are hosting the Oscars. I'll think you want to hear some shit, and I'll slice it up and all that. And I'll.
Listen to this podcast. Oh God.
Oh shoot,
Oh
man.
man, please
Did
no.
you so you edited together the movie too, right?
Yeah, I edited and did all the effects.
How long
It took so long.
How long did that take? Because I've now started to dabble in editing. I have to edit this podcast every week, skits and other stuff like that,
Mhm.
and it's fun. But like, holy crap, is it such like a trial by fire learning? And they're always for
Yeah.
me. It seems like I figure out one problem, and then it's not too long until there's another problem.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of that's how it's. I'd say with the editing side, I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the best editor in terms
Yeah.
of like pacing and stuff. Um, but yeah, the effects I think is what was taking forever
Okay.
because I had to make all of these like buildings and stuff
Mm-hmm.
from scratch, like every
Yeah.
single time, basically. Like every shot I had to make from scratch. And then I finally, towards the end of it, like December, I think November and December, and then the first week of January, I was just like, you know, because I had spent all the time beforehand making effects from scratch,
Yeah.
I kind of figured it out like, okay, to save these, like, I saved certain buildings as like assets and stuff. Trying not to
Yeah.
get too much into the weeds. But basically, because I had done a whole bunch of work in the months before, I was
Mm-hmm.
able to just like recycle that work. And
Yeah.
so, like, a lot of the work was done like November, December, January, first week of January. Because I
Okay.
was just able to, like, you know, click and drag and import like a bunch of buildings and a bunch of signs and then just make you know building earths like shots really quickly, and so
Yeah.
that's when I was starting to get going. But before that, um especially during like I mean, it's like right now is basically like the craziest point in the pandemic because it's like cases are going crazy,
Oh yeah.
but it felt like maybe like March, or not March, but like April-ish,
Uh-huh.
May, that kind of area, like in the middle of the month or in the middle of the 2020 felt like the worst part of the pandemic.
Yeah, definitely. I
At
think that
least
was kind
for
of the
me.
first. It was like the first shutdown where we were first introduced to like basically the inside only life, and I think that's
Yeah,
why it sucked. Because I remember that too. Like I remember that was kind of the point where you accepted like, oh, I'm not going to see people for a while, and then it kind of.
right.
It's been a weird pandemic because then, like a month or a couple months after that, like everything kind of stopped being a problem. Like you just were kind of, it
Mhm.
was kind of like, hey, just wear a mask, and it seemed like things were normal.
Yeah,
And then now we're back to that crazy lockdown phase.
right. It's ridiculous. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
at that point in time was the most insufferable point because it was like I was stuck inside and I was having to every day I would wake up and go to the computer and just have another problem to solve, like you said. Like
yeah,
it was just like it was like there was it felt like there was no escape anywhere,
like
even in
Groundhog
the work.
Day-ish.
Almost, yeah. And it would be like it was really easy to just be like, I'm not gonna work on it today because it was like, you know, there's no there I'm not getting any progress or anything. There was like no clear like deadline or like end point in sight at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to be working all the time, and that
Yeah,
was what was like miserable.
I
So
totally get that.
yeah.
So do you think like because I don't know how, like I don't know how your work ethic is and stuff like that, do you
Mhm.
think the pandemic helped get it done quicker, or do you think that you, because it's you're so passionate about it and this is what you want to do, that you would have finished it in relatively the same time? Like yes, maybe not being able to go out
Mhm.
did help, but do you think it helped you at all, or would it have been the same?
I really can't tell. I
Hmm.
kind of want to say that it would have been the same
Yeah,
because it always feels like, oh yeah, I can get this done by March, and then it ends up being like January and you're
yeah,
releasing it. I didn't really have a good idea of how much work was going to get done. Now that I know like what amount of work it was like needed to be done, I feel like maybe I could have, if I had done it again, could have finished it
yeah.
probably in the summer sometime if I was just
Uh-huh.
grinding all day. But to be honest, I think it probably would have gone just like a little bit faster if there was no quarantine because
Okay.
part of the problem was like not being able to go out made it to where it was like my work life and my home life was like the same, so I was like there was no split, so every day
Yeah.
just felt like the same and it was easy to just have days keep going. The other thing was I feel like when I'm around my friends and who like are like, oh, when's the movie coming out, when's the movie coming out,
Mhm.
like anytime someone asked me when it was coming out, I would always have like a week of like really intense work because I was like, people are counting on me.
Yeah.
So if I had like a constant, I guess maybe that would be like if I had people around me, if there was no quarantine, then maybe people would be more like, you know, excited about the movie or
Yeah.
thinking or like asking about the movie more. I guess that's my only, but other than that, I think it probably would have been just about the same time.
Okay. I we're gonna move into another segment in a minute. I want to ask you, like, you can just kind of give quick answers, elaborate how long you want on these. I got a few like personal questions that I wanted to ask you about the movie process, and also don't feel bad, like you were kind of getting into the intricacies of it and you were like, I don't want to bore people. Like I at least, well, one, this is, this is my podcast and I'm enjoying it, so you know that's kind of all
Yeah.
that matters. But also, I don't want to speak for the squad. That's what we call the listeners. But I think the
Mhm.
squad enjoys a mix up. We have a lot of comedians on, a lot of stuff. I think I
Mhm.
mean, I personally think it's fascinating to hear more about how your process of making a movie. Obviously, you didn't make a $250 million budget movie, but
Right.
everyone loves movies, and not a lot of people know how it's made. So one of the
Mhm.
things I wanted to ask you was, what was the hardest part? If you had to pick one thing, what was the hardest of it
Oh,
to you?
geez.
Was it
I
writing
mean,
it,
I guess I would
filming?
just I think probably the effects, the special
Okay.
effects,
The effects,
just
yeah.
because they took so long,
Mm-hmm.
and there was so many things that I wanted to do, like so many cool ideas that I was having, and
Yeah.
then I would do them, I would make them, like this building even. Like I was
Uh-huh.
like, I wanted more of this type of thing where it's like crazy, like buildings that are like exploding out of the, architecture or like the spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is maybe the craziest shot in the whole movie, and it's pretty tame. It's mostly
Yeah.
gray. So I was like, I wanted to be doing more like super fun things, but then I
Uh-huh.
kept finding that I was like, if I keep doing crazy shots like this, or if I keep doing like, going all out on every set, it's gonna just be, I'm gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
And then that made me, kind of pull back on all the other shots.
I get
So it
you.
was like I was just having to do so much work in so little time, and also get away, dog. And also, and yeah, and then also watching like the the vision not come out like perfectly right, which is like, of
Okay,
course,
yeah.
it's never going to be perfect, it's never going to be like exactly like how you want it, but I was
Yeah.
always feeling like I was missing just a little bit of like that something extra that would have just made it that much better. So I was like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're kind of just stuck with like in the limitations of your ability. What I can relate that to is sometimes I come up with like ideas for a skit, and they're to me they're like hilarious, but the
uh,
logistics of like filming them and like the places I would need to film or like what to happen, I'm like I can't make that happen with like the editing ability, the access, and all that stuff. So I get what you,
yeah,
and it kind of sucks, but I don't know. For me, I always just kind of tell myself like, oh, I'm just beginning and doing this, and eventually, if I stick with it, I can do stuff like that. But for now, I just got to make things at the face value. A green screen is like the top of my special abilities that I can do.
yeah. I mean, you should get it. Do you have a green screen?
Like a comic buddy of mine, he has one, and I
Mhm.
will use that for skits. But I want to get one because I've been doing, guys. If you haven't seen them yet, check them out on my Instagram. I've been doing these. They're just called them Yelps with Brandon, and I write like funny Yelps out, and I make them
Yeah,
like
I saw
comical. Yeah, yeah,
I
and
saw one for Costco, right?
yeah, the Costco one. And the idea is like I used to do like Snapchats reviewing food and people thought it was funny. And then I figured like this way it's kind of easier because it's in writing. I can write it more like a blog and I can really punch it
Mhm.
up with funny jokes and stuff because it's not on the spot. But eventually if people seem to like it, and eventually I want to get like a green screen and sit in front of it and give like a 45-second or like a 30-second version of that Yelp review, and like maybe have
Mhm.
pictures flash on, like I make a punchline, have it pop up next to me, and kind of do stuff like that with it.
Yeah. I'll
So
give you a Let me give you my pro filmmaker tip.
yes,
Hold on real quick.
I'm excited.
The audience is going to have to wait in suspense for 2 seconds.
No, it's okay, guys. While we're waiting, if you're hearing this, it comes out on Wednesday, so it's going to be short notice if you didn't listen. But I finally have that flyer up for the show I'm on Friday, 129, outdoor socially distant show. It is supposed to rain though, so there's a very solid chance that it's postponed. But check out my Instagram and you can kind of you can figure out more from there. Are you ready to show us?
I'm ready.
I'm excited.
Look at this. All you need for a green screen is to just go to like Michael's and
Yeah.
get a ton of green poster board,
Okay.
and you can have a really like quick one made in like no time at all.
Oh my
Actually
God,
use this green screen to shoot some of the movie.
that's
So
sick.
even though it looks like it's, or it
Yeah.
may look like it's special effects craziness, it's just this thick amount of
That's
green
awesome.
screen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, honestly, that's an awesome tip. I would never have thought of that. And green screens somewhere, they can be a little bit of money, a little pricey.
They're expensive. So just spend $10 and go to Michael's and get a
Yeah,
duct tape your own one.
that's literally what I'm gonna do. That's awesome. That's a good tip. The two other
Yeah.
questions that I wanted to ask you are, what was most fun to you? Like out of this whole process, what was most fun?
Definitely shooting.
Okay.
It did suck because sometimes, well, the place we were shooting was like this studio that Stanford had given us,
Mm-hmm.
but it was basically just a basement underneath like the museum.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was kind of frustrating to get people down there, and like the audio, I still need to fix because they had this annoying like AC system that was like screaming at us the whole time.
Oh yeah.
But but yeah, the other thing too was like having to explain the movie to people like over and over again, like to every single one of the cast members. I kind of
Uh-huh.
felt bad because I was like just trying to get people in the movie.
Yeah, you were doing
But
the Adam Sandler, getting all your friends in it and stuff. You had your brother and sister in it, which is dope.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was fun shooting with them as well. But yeah, I just didn't want to like I didn't want to bog people down with the details.
Mm-hmm.
So I just gave them like I'm like it's gonna be great. You're gonna love it or whatever.
Yeah.
And that ended up being to where people like didn't know what the heck they were doing.
Uh-huh.
And I gotta remember that I can cuss.
Yes.
Um, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah, there
So
we
for
go.
like the whole time they were like, uh, the whole time I was making it, they're like, "Oh, when's the movie coming out? I don't know what it's about, but I can't wait to see it." So I was like, "Ah, shit," which is kind of like sucks because I wanted people to be like kind of aware, like
Mm-hmm.
want to like be excited for what they were doing.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, shooting was by far the most fun because like just seeing like again like the Margot and Angelica, the two
Yeah.
gals you'd mentioned, they're like being on set with them. We shot for like maybe like 45 to an hour,
Yeah.
and it was just like constant chaos. Like I was not able to catch up with like what was happening. I had two cameras set up. I was like constantly trying to move them around to get like random angles of this like some like weird movement they wanted to do or something. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is so good, this is so much fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I had a bunch of other friends on there too who like I think it was always more fun because sometimes it ended up just being me and the other person that I was shooting with, and that was
Yeah.
always kind of weird because they were like, okay, now what do I do? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, just have fun. And then they'd be like, okay.
Yeah, it's
But
I
then when
get
there
you.
was other people around, like when there was even people like behind me, not even like in the camera,
Uh-huh.
like when there was someone else around to like kind of like have a performance for, that's when
Yeah.
people started to really like shine and like get crazy. And I had someone do like, I want to say like 10 minutes of monologuing. I don't know if you remember at the very end, this this girl, the girl who was like sad or whatever,
Yeah.
um, appears in like a thought bubble, and she just starts talking about like, I think you think this is about you, but it's really about me or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's like a 5-second thing,
I know, yeah,
but
I remember what you're talking about.
she goes on for 10 minutes, like 10 minutes straight of just her talking about like nonsense. She just keeps going. And I was like, this is gold. And I kept like trying to like find crazy places to put the camera, zooming
Mm-hmm.
in and whatnot. But I couldn't use, I think I want to have more of it in the movie because it's just so crazy. But like that's when I was like, this is the best.
That's so cool.
when it was just like random ass like people just doing what they wanted. And that
Yeah,
was
no,
kind of
dude.
like the point of the movie too, was just for people to have fun
No, I think it's
without
so
me saying
cool
so.
that you're doing this. Like to me, like you got to understand, like, we've known each other forever, like we're family and like it's super cool to see you doing this because I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? Not everyone has a cousin who's made a movie
Yeah,
and that's just super cool, like no matter what
mhm,
level of movie it is, and it's cool because like, I'm a comedian, but eventually I want to get into acting and I'm like just in quarantine because kind of like you said, you get stuck inside. I'm on
yeah,
page 20 of a movie idea that I had, so I'm like trying to write a script for a movie, and I probably will
yeah,
never ever do anything with it, but it's fun just to kind of come up with the idea of it and do all that. So I think it's super cool that you're doing
yeah.
that.
Well, page 20, once you get past that page, you know, you're dead.
Oh
Because
shit.
page 20 is like up until page 20, like that's always like so like bam, I'm getting it out. All the ideas are coming.
Yeah.
And then the middle part, you're like, okay, uh, do they
Yeah,
go
I know.
to a bar? That's a funny idea.
That's literally where I'm at. They're going to a bar right now.
Yeah. Just
That's the
write the
last scene I
just write
wrote.
the ending. Just write the beginning and the end. And that's I think what those are the easiest parts. And then the middle is like you just throw in whatever.
Okay, yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, because I've not written the ending yet. I don't even know what I want to do with the ending, but that's good advice, dude.
Yeah.
There's a million more questions I can ask you about this stuff, but
Mhm.
we're gonna move into one of the segments, the avid deserter. So this is where I had you figure out your top 3 favorite desserts and your least favorite desserts. I like to go over this with my guests and kind of pick their brain on what they like in sweets. So, what is your top 3 desserts?
My top three are gonna be donuts. I
Is there
know
what
it's not
kind
a
of donut?
dessert per
No,
se.
we've had donuts on here. What kind of donut?
Okay. I actually credit Modu Donuts on
Okay.
uh, Boulevard in the movie because I love Modu Donuts so much.
Uh-huh.
I'm a diehard fan. Um, yeah, Modu Donuts, um, popsicles, which I mean, you'll know, we had a huge phase of popsicles. I mean, do
Yeah,
you remember coming over and there being popsicles in the fridge?
bro, you have popsicles on deck. Like I feel
Yeah.
like amongst our 3 houses of like me, you, Travis, like
Uh-huh.
each house had like different snacks to offer.
Yeah.
Like I was talking
Yes.
about this with Travis when we hung out like a while ago, and
Mhm.
I was like, bro, I remember like you having this, and this snack, and I was like, and it was so far.
Uh-huh.
He's like, bro, I remember you having this, and that, and it's funny how the houses you end up at as a child, like the different snacks, like they kind of hit
Yes.
different because you don't have them.
For sure. It's always the snacks at the other place that are like you want and you
God
never
tier,
have.
yeah. You're like, mom, please, and she's like, I can't. And you're like, damn it.
Yeah, right. But yeah, popsicles. And then I'm just gonna be boring and say ice cream because
What kind of pops? Okay, so you got donuts, popsicles, ice cream. Can you give me like your donut of choice, your popsicle flavor of choice, and your ice cream of choice?
yeah. So I always order a pink sprinkle, a
Okay.
cake pink sprinkle at
Ooh, those are
donut
good.
shop. So like not, I don't like the other kind. What is it called? It's
Like
not cake. Like
it's not cake. It's just like whatever. I know what you mean. Like
it's like
not.
it's like fluffier kind of.
Yeah, there's a word for it. I don't know what it is, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of those. I like the cake donuts because I
Okay.
dip them in coffee.
Ah, okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and that was kind of like a bad habit. Was I'd be working at like midnight, so I'd go get a cup of coffee at midnight and a donut, and
your
I'd be like
your body's
wired
like,
until
what the fuck is going on right
yeah.
now?
I am severely, I woke up at 10 o'clock today and I was like, okay, back to bed. But then I had to do the podcast, so I was like,
I'm
okay,
sorry to
I'm gonna
wake you
wake
up, Sleeping Beauty.
No, I
Um,
was refreshed when I saw that you were like, oh, can we do 11:10? I was like, yes.
Yeah, I was running behind. I was having a rough morning.
Yeah, but uh what were we gonna do? Popsicles? Okay, so any popsicle that you get from like a street vendor is the best.
Oh,
Like
yes, yes.
they'll always have not like ice cream trucks are pretty good too. Like ice cream trucks, I'd say have like a great selection of
Yeah.
popsicles. But it's always like the guy with the cart that's
The
got a little
Halado
bell
man, right? Yeah,
at
that
the
guy.
park or something. Those are always such good popsicles.
Top tier.
Uh, Even if they're the same as the ice cream truck one, like the firecracker or whatever it's called.
The bomb pop.
Yeah, the bomb pop. The best one though is the bomb pop watermelon. Have you ever had that?
Oh, yes, I have. Yes.
It's like it's like finding like the holy grail. Like it only comes out like every once in a while.
Yeah, they're
It's
not they're
so
not everywhere you go.
yeah, but then you find it and you're like, "Oh, please one of those." And yeah, it's a special moment when you get a bomb pop watermelon. And then ice cream, I'm gonna be honest. I don't stick with the same one. I'm not as avid an ice cream lover as popsicles and donuts.
Okay.
But for the viewing audience, I'll just say uh, coffee toffee crunch or whatever.
Okay, okay.
Coffee and toffee. It's like a Ben and Jerry's flavor.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, generally coffee flavored ice cream
Okay.
be good.
Yeah, that's I don't think we've had coffee flavored ice cream as someone's top three yet. So you got a new one with that. Did you like that cronut that you had yet? Did you have the cronut? Your mom took some home. Did you try those yet?
Yeah,
What'd you
yeah,
think of
it's
them?
right here.
What'd you think of the cronut?
Wait, how do you know about the cronut?
Because you have a cronut because my mom and your mom were together yesterday and I called my mom and I was like,
Mhm.
please get me cronuts. And then she bought like 10 of them, brought them home, and then your mom was like, I want to bring some home to Max. And so that's how I know that you have the cronuts. And I've
Oh,
also
she.
been living in your closet for months. Those two things.
No! Get out! Oh my god. Okay.
The look on
Well,
your
yeah,
face when I was like the cronut, you were like, how the fuck does he know about the
I was
cronuts?
like, maybe I told him I was eating a cronut, or maybe I showed you, but I was like, no, there's no way. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
eating a cronut right now.
Have you had a
That's
cronut before?
Yeah, I have. They're pretty good, but
Yeah.
I think they're just like a little bit too sugary for me to
Okay.
justify as like they're definitely like a dessert.
Yeah, I had yesterday by 6 p.m. the only things I had consumed were two cronuts, chicken wings, and a beer. So
Oh my god.
I was abusing my body yesterday. Nothing
No.
nutritional was consumed by me for like 12 hours.
Oh man.
Um,
Wait, I don't want to derail the conversation,
no,
but
no, no.
I
The
do kind of want to
podcast
know
is
about that
derailed.
fight. Who who won? Did
Okay.
McGregor win?
No, McGregor lost. He got knocked out in the second round, like knocked out.
Oh man.
It
That's
was it
crazy.
was it was a good fight. Like first round, McGregor was doing good. Like he was landing strikes to the point that
Uh-huh.
we were like I was watching it with my dad and we were like, "Yo, this fight is gonna be done in a round probably." Like McGregor's working him, and then
Yeah.
Poirier kept landing leg kicks, and
Uh-huh.
McGregor had to leave on crutches because
Whoa.
his calf was swollen so much from these kicks. So you could
Oh.
tell the kick started to get to him, and then Poirier just caught him with a right hand and just
Oh
like he was. It
God.
was technically a TKO because he wasn't like knocked out cold, but
Yeah.
like it was 100% like stop the fight because he's done. Like
Yeah,
his
yeah.
eyes were open, but he was like, if you go on Twitter or like social media, there's already memes where he's like laying in the corner and he looks like in shock, and it's like when your alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and like shit, you know what I mean? They're already giving him the meme treatment. But
Yeah.
it was a good fight, but it was kind of a
Okay.
bummer because this kind of might be the downfall of his career. He's lost his last two fights. He's
Yeah.
getting older. He's gonna fall out of the top 5 in his division possibly. So
Mhm.
it was a good fight though. The card was cool, but crazy, dude. ESPN Plus had this problem where they couldn't get people into the stream. Like it got too overloaded. Like I couldn't get in. I called Zach Arnold. He couldn't get the fight up. Like I searched it on Twitter to see if other people, like thousands of people were like dude, JJ Watt was tweeting out, like he plays for the
Well,
Texans. And he
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
I can't get the fight. What the fuck is going on? Like, no one could get it. I had to illegally stream the first 2 fights in like 420 megapixels and shit. It was just like 2 pixelated blobs punching each
Yeah.
other.
Oh man.
So yeah, it was
That
really weird to
sucks.
see the UFC kind of like fumble the bag like that, you know?
Yeah, that is
Um,
strange. Yeah, but
it was good. But what is your least favorite dessert? Do you have one that is just
oh
gross to
yeah.
you?
I can't really think of one. I know there is one, but the
Uh-huh.
one that I thought of for the podcast was pudding.
Okay, yeah.
It's
Pudding
not like
is
it's not like it's like I hate it. Like I'm like, oh, get away from me, pudding.
yeah.
It was more like I don't really want a mushy thing. Like, why are
Mhm.
you trying to feed me mush?
Yeah,
No,
my
that was
similar to
my
yours, my least favorite is Jello, where it's just
oh
again,
yeah,
it's kind of this like, I don't know, it's just like again, like you said, I'm not gonna take a bite of Jello and like projectile vomit onto the
yeah,
floor and stuff. But like if you're like, what's for dessert, and someone brings out like pudding or Jello, you're almost inclined to be like, I'm good. Like
yeah.
I
I'll
don't I
skip
don't
it.
need dessert. Yeah, exactly.
Jello
Uh,
shots though are okay.
Yeah, Jello shots are cool, but that's like the novelty of them. Well,
Right.
that was the avid deserter guys. So one thing I wanted, so now I kind of wanted to talk to you about some childhood things that happened.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
do you remember asking never hurts? Do you remember this? I will tell the
Yes.
story, but this story I think about it at least once a week. You need me to
Wait.
refresh your? I want me to refresh your memory
No, I've. It's coming to me. Did I?
because it
I feel like it's slightly traumatic.
Yes, I'm gonna tell the story so the listeners know too. Oh, you just remembered it, huh?
No, I
Uh,
didn't remember it, but I know it's
it's like almost a repressed memory in your mind.
yeah, yeah. Okay, tell it,
um,
tell it. I know there's a
okay,
song involved.
yes, and that's why is I still sing this song when people won't ask stuff like shout out my girlfriend Erica. She's like so nice and passive, and I'm like trying to
Uh-huh.
tell her like I want her to ask for more stuff and like from people like speak her mind. So
Uh-huh.
when I can tell she wants something, like she wants to do this but won't
Uh-huh.
say it, I'll sing the song to her. Now we were I mean we had to be probably in like fifth grade, maybe sixth grade, around that
Uh-huh.
age. Um, and we were hanging out with, I'm going to name drop because I don't really care. We were hanging out with our neighborhood friend, Dan Franz. And Dan
Yes.
Franz has a mom who is for lack of a better word, batshit crazy. And
Hmm.
she's literally, guys, and if you live in the went to Arrow Vista school like neighborhood, you know exactly who I'm talking about because she was kind of notorious for like kids would walk by and walk on her lawn and she would scream at them. Like she literally was like the
Yeah.
get off my lawn lady. And
Yeah.
she had very strict rules, and we wanted to go down to the park by our house, and the park was a block away, like literally the street over park. It's we live in Brea. It's not a bad neighborhood. No one's gonna go get stabbed at this park. No one's gonna get robbed at this park. It's a very nice park. And
Hmm.
we wanted our friend Dan Franz to go, and he was like, guys, my mom won't let me go to the park. Like she won't
Yeah.
let me go. And we were like, bro, just ask, tell her you're going with us, like maybe because it's a group she'll say yes. And he was like, I don't want to ask. And then me and you awesomely we didn't write the song in advance. We just came up with it on the spot. We're going, asking never hurts. Yeah, yeah, asking never hurts.
I know
Woo,
the tune of
asking
it.
never
I know
hurts.
the
Yeah, yeah.
song.
And we were singing it to him to the point that he left and like, when you're like, when kids get upset, like almost in tears like that, like the, my voice is like this, so stop it, guys. And like he left, and then we were like, oh, he's going to go ask and he'll be back. And what's ironic is I remember us being in the kitchen eating popsicles and yeah, a little nice little tie back in there. And we hear a knock on the door and we go, asking never hurts you. Yeah. Asking never hurts.
Yes.
And to answer the door, and it's his fucking mom. And we're like, oh shit. Like, we're too young to handle the ramifications of what's happening. And she opens the door and she's like, I have very strict rules, and I don't allow my 15-year-old daughter, which, like, poor daughter, go to the park with her friends or to Birch or even the mall. And I am not going to let Daniel go to the park at like whatever 11 years old. And so you don't question my parenting. And we were like, we weren't questioning your parent. He said that you told him to ask, and it never hurts. And she like stormed off and was so like terrified us, because to growing up, this lady was like the version of like the old man who lives in Monster House, if you guys have seen Monster House.
That's a great way of putting it.
And yeah, dude, like that story, I to this day I still think about so often.
That's crazy. That's definitely a repressed memory, because I remember the tune, and I remember us singing and her coming in, which is just
the fear that like struck in my heart. Like, I think probably that was one of the first situations as like as like a person we had where you're like, oh, Max, he's such a bitch, I hate that guy. Oh, hey, Max. Like, it was literally our first interaction of like, we were like, your mom's a bitch, come to the park with us. And then we were like, what's up, Mom? Like,
so bad.
I love that story. Makes me laugh so hard.
Thank you for reminding me of that, because
of course, I don't mean to bring up a repressed memory, but it's pretty funny now. Like, it's kind of not.
That was so good. Oh my gosh.
It's not even scary anymore. Here's one last memory I want to talk to you about before we go into another segment. Is we talked about this 2 weeks ago with my cousin our cousin Travis on the podcast, and we were talking about and still, again, guys, sorry that we don't have a better word to label these, but do you remember like the holocausts that would happen at family trips?
I was just about to say, and I was thinking of a word other than Holocaust.
Yeah, we already apologized that we don't have a better name for that, but that's just kind of what they're going to be called. We talked about the bug zapper one, and how your sister Maisie was kind of getting grilled, and I'll never forget, you tried to jump on the bullet and like bite the bullet, and you were like, no, it was me. And she was just like, fuck you. Like, obviously she didn't say fuck you, but she was like, shut up, and like blew up on you when you were trying to do like the ultimate nice brother move. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What was going through your head when that happened?
I mean, God, those were such. I love how we had it down, predicted, like it was like a cycle almost, right? Like, wasn't it like, oh, we didn't have one this year, so next year there's gonna be something.
Yeah, and there was just when we were young. Me and Travis kind of figured out that there hasn't been one in a while. There's been like drama, obviously, at the family trips and stuff, but there hasn't been a moment like when we broke the beds or the bug zapper. Like, those two were we were younger too. I think they kind of just our parents don't really care as much what we do now.
Yeah.
Like, we're adults. They're not going to like scold us for breaking a $20 bug zapper.
Right.
But I thought I wanted, like, when she was screaming at you, were you just like, what the fuck? Like, I was trying to help you. Like,
yeah, I was more like, considerate. I think I can't remember exactly what was going through my mind, but I do remember not holding it against her. I was just like, it was more like, okay, I shouldn't have got involved, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You were
what
like,
was
I
I
wish I would have
thinking?
just. Yeah.
I should have just stayed back. Because obviously, you know, like little kid rules, little kid logic is like, if you're not in trouble,
hmm
don't even just go.
Yeah. Don't
But
even get yourself involved.
I got involved, and that's, I broke rule number one, so I got screamed at. So I
Yeah.
felt like that was, obviously I didn't deserve the scream, but it was like, okay, I probably should have not done that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got caught in the middle of it.
Yeah, exactly. I shouldn't have gotten in there. But yeah, I think the one that I remember, other than the bed breaking was like, that was just like, I don't know, that felt like a turning point almost in my young child life. It
Yeah.
was like such a monumental event, like, you know, which
Yeah.
looking back on it now, it got fixed, right?
Yeah, like immediately. Like in like
Like
5 minutes.
immediately. And also, you bring up a great point, which is like, now, like, if we were to break a $20 zapper, like, why was it such a big deal when we were like kids? Like, that's
I
just
don't know.
crazy to think about. Like, you can't, you're like almost impervious to drama. Like, it can't happen.
Yeah.
A Holocaust can't happen again. That's horrible to say.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen again.
I mean,
But
I
it
hope
can't
not.
happen again because it's like it wouldn't be like that big a deal. It would just never be that big.
Yeah, like think about it. Even as like the beds were a bigger thing because they're more expensive. Like if we broke beds now, it'd just be like, dude, you broke the beds, and we'd be like, yo, sorry, like I'll pay for it. Like my bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, for sure. And it's like over. And it's also like, I'm an adult now. Like you can't. I I mean, this might sound pretentious, but like, you can't yell at me like that. I'm also an adult. Like
Yeah.
if like my uncle or someone was screaming at me over a bed, like I would apologize at first, and if the berating continued, I would be like, okay, don't fucking talk to me like this. I am also
Yeah.
an adult. Fuck you. Like it's your
Yeah.
bed. Don't leave. Yeah, and it's also like don't leave a bunch of like 10-year-olds around like a bed electronic and show them how to work it. Like maybe have
Yeah.
some supervision on us or something like that. It's not our fault.
Yeah.
I want to move into
No.
the next segment. It's called the dumbass of the week. The dumbass of the week is brought to you by Red Foreman.
Dumbass, dumbasses, dumbass, 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 dumbass.
The dumbass of the week this week is Mets general manager, ex-general manager, Jared Porter, who sent 60 texts to a girl and she didn't respond, and then he followed up his 60th text with an unsolicited dick pic.
Yeah.
So he wins dumbass of the week. I mean, dude, 60 text messages? Imagine sending 60 unread text messages to anyone.
Yeah.
Is creepy. And
That's just weird. Yeah.
there's just a screw missing, like a screw loose and missing in someone's head like that, because I don't know what at like 60, like he probably tried like hey with a smiley face, hi with a smiley face. He probably tried like you're beautiful. He probably tried a pickup line. He probably tried a gif. He went through all these things, and then like after 60 times of failing, he was like, Watson, I have it. It's a dick pic. And he thought that she was going to get the dick pic and just be like,
Yeah.
you cracked the code. I want you, Mr. Porter. I don't. Some people just lack social skills, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I
He must
don't.
have been on something. There's no
For
way.
real. I don't get how in like you're so, especially like, okay, let's not like, not to talk down on people, like, this might offend some people. He wasn't like a fucking bus driver. He wasn't like a janitor. He wasn't, a McDonald's worker. No disrespect to those people. He was a GM of a $1 million, maybe $1 billion baseball organization in one of the biggest cities in the world.
Mhm.
And that's the type of social cues that he deals with. It probably had to be like an ego trip, like a power trip thing where he
For
thinks like
sure.
his shit don't stink and he can kind of just get away with stuff.
I heard that there was like an escalation though, to his text messages. I heard that he first sent in that slew of 60 messages.
Yeah.
One of the messages was like, "Hey, I've got a nice hotel room," and then he showed his hotel room, like a
Yeah.
photo of his hotel room, and then he sent in the middle like a picture of his bulge, like in his pants.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so I heard that there was like a subtle like escalating of it leading up to the dick pic, which is almost it's terrible, obviously, but it's like now we have a full story as
Yeah.
opposed to like just 60 text messages and then like fuck it, dick pic.
Yeah.
There was
I
like
mean,
a grading of like, you know, in his head, he was having a full conversation with this person.
yeah, no,
You
exactly.
know?
Like that's what I mean when there's like a screw loose. Like in
Yeah,
his mind, he had to be like, "Oh, I'm making progress." Because like a
yeah,
normal person, like bro, and I've had a girl not interested in me, and I've double texted, and like, maybe I sent
yeah.
a hey, and then like a hey a week later, and then tried like one
Uh-huh.
last time, and then was like, she's not into me. But to
Yeah,
like berate someone like that, you just lack so many like social cues that people
yeah,
like. You're like, how do you act and behave? I don't know, so weird. So he easily takes dumbass of the week.
yeah,
Now
definitely.
we're gonna move into the last two segments, kind of wrap it up. I asked you a lot of questions, kind of in bulk more. I didn't spread it out as well because I try and like layer the
Mhm.
segments. The last thing that I wanted to ask you, and like to ask guests who are artists and kind of in that genre. Uh,
Mhm.
what's your goal in 10 years? Like, where would you like to see Maxwell Menzies in 10 years? Like, maybe you've never thought of it. I think it's always good to think of this. What would you like to be doing in your career?
Yeah, that is a good question because I really don't know. Like, okay, I would love to. Well, the goal is to keep making movies, right?
Uh-huh.
The where I'd be in 10 years question, I guess, is like in what capacity am I making those movies, basically.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I would love to be, have enough money to like make whatever the fuck movie I want,
Yeah.
but realistically, like I made that movie with, you know, my myself doing the editing, writing, directing, costumes, everything, um, and a basement.
Yeah.
So like I can kind of make movies wherever in like, obviously some movies I can't just do with the green screen. There's
Yeah.
some stuff that I like you mentioned like, you kind of got to go to certain places or certain like locations and obviously there's some stuff that like okay, in the future I obviously don't want to be like doing all of it. I want to have like a crew
Yeah, yeah.
and a cast that I pay people.
Uh-huh.
But I don't need millions of dollars to do that
Mhm.
necessarily.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think right now, so I'm going to New York actually in February.
Uh-huh.
The goal of that is to just meet people and like find more people to like hang out with basically and more people to talk to and
Uh-huh.
also hopefully to get a job. And if I
Yeah.
don't get a job, then I'll have to probably reassess. Um, but yeah, I guess it's just to keep writing scripts, keep making what movies I can and sending them out and you know wherever they go that will kind of decide my fate, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a solid answer, but I guess yeah, that's my
No,
answer is that in
that's
10
a great
years, I see
answer. I mean,
myself still
there's
making movies.
variables. You kind of set your like I mean, to me, the basis of what you said is in 10 years you still want to be making movies. And at what
Yeah,
capacity? It sounds like obviously yes, like if you start making these like independent and self-made films and someone loves them and you get an opportunity to direct at like, with a company or or a studio or something and make those high budget ones, you would love to, but you also
Yeah.
wouldn't mind going the path of like independent films, like Sundance, like all those types of things. So, I mean, that's cool, dude. I love
Yeah.
to hear that, like, that's what you like, that I'm gonna get to keep enjoying and your stuff and watching you
Yes.
grow as a writer, a director, an editor, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, and
Um,
don't worry, you're already set for next generation Sorplecum Poseltoy 2. I've
yes,
already
dude.
got a role for you.
I'm so excited, dude. I will. I can't wait. I love all that stuff, and like you said, to me, because it's something that I want to do, and I know that it probably comes years later down the line because I'm more focused on comedy and getting to act and stuff. And I'm gonna eventually I want to take acting lessons, and I've auditioned for commercials and stuff. I haven't
Mhm.
gotten them, but like I got to do one. I got to audition like twice for a Sonic commercial and like little
Okay.
random stuff like that. But
Mhm.
dude, like you said, it'll be so cool to see myself. Like I'll watch the movie and just like whether I have one line or 100 lines, like to see myself, like it'll be so cool. So I appreciate that.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do would you rather's now. I got two would you rather's for you. This is the would you rather segment of the podcast, the original segment that we had on the very first episode, and has kind of stayed with it. Um, would you rather lose your ability to lie or believe everything you're told?
Lose my ability to lie.
Okay.
Easy.
Yes. Okay. That's
I
yeah.
like to think that I have free will in this world.
Yeah.
So if I had to believe everything that someone told me, I would probably be,
You'd be like an idiot, a
yeah.
pawn. Yeah, like you would be. Yeah, I agree with you. Like yes, it would suck to lie. You'd be a very truthful person, but I think in the long run, you'd kind of end up being a better person because you would learn to speak your mind, and you wouldn't want to surround yourself with people you didn't like because you'd tell them you don't like them. Like it would come out. Like if they were like,
Yeah.
"You hate me, don't you?" You'd be like, yeah, I hate everything about you. I hate the way you dress. I hate the way you say the word pancakes. Like, I hate this about you.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh my God. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think and also, like you said, I don't want someone telling me the earth is flat. And I'm like, oh, I knew it. The earth is flat. I don't want to, I don't want to believe
Yeah.
in shit like that.
Honestly, yeah. Also, that's a great way of putting how flat earthers navigate the world. Is someone tells them that the earth is flat and they say, I knew it.
I
As if
knew
they
it. Yeah.
already. This is like, I feel like so often, I don't want to get too into the weeds with belief in
Yeah.
American society, but it's like, you can tell, like, these QAnon people, like,
Mm-hmm.
they already believe all this stuff. They like already think that the Dems and are trying to take over and that Soros is going to kill us with, vaccines.
Yeah.
They just need you to tell them, you know, to say it and then they're like, "Yep, knew it all along."
Yeah. They're very easily
It's weird.
influenced by, like, I had an old coworker, I won't name drop, but they believed that the coronavirus was created by 5G towers because the 5G towers were giving off radiation that was like cooking our body, giving us the fevers and giving us sickness, and that the
Whoa.
vaccine had a microchip that would allow these 5 tower radiation wavelengths to
Whoa.
control us later.
Shit.
Which, like,
Dang.
that's like, I'm so glad I don't walk around with that stress on my fucking mind all the time.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Could you imagine just like right now, and we wouldn't be doing this online. It would have just I would have foil on my walls. It would be, I
Yeah.
couldn't live like that. I couldn't live
No way.
being that afraid of everything and thinking everything in the world is out to get me. Where it's got to
Yeah.
kind of realize, like, you think that like whoever the president is at whatever time gives a fuck about me and you?
Yeah,
They don't
definitely
give
not.
a
That's the
damn.
yeah, right.
People got to realize
Yeah.
that. So the last would you rather is would you rather be a Pokemon trainer or an element bender like an Avatar?
Oh, that's a hard one actually. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
this one made me struggle because like I mean God, like imagine any of the element benders would be so cool, like whether it's earth, wind, fire, and all that to be able to do that. But I mean, a thought I had is like with the airbender, you're kind of like forced into like a life of like battling and fighting and
Hmm.
danger, because that's kind of like what in this scenario what you'd be called to do. But the
Yeah.
Pokemon trainer is you kind of just have like a cool profession. Like you're kind of just trying to be like a star football player or like an actor or a director or a comedian. Like you're
Yeah.
trying to just be the best Pokemon trainer.
Also, with the Pokemon thing, would that mean that in the world there are Pokemon that you catch?
Yes, yes. Like you kind of like, for all intents and purposes, you become submerged in this universe,
Mhm.
because like otherwise, like yeah, like it would be weird if like you came over for dinner and I was like, want to see my Blastoise, and I just a giant buff ass turtle shoots out of a ball,
Yeah.
shattering the dinner table. You'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Or like if we were at Leo Carrillo and I was like, you want to see something cool, and I like pick up a tree with my hands, like you'd be like, oh my god, this so yeah, you're
Yeah.
more in the thing, because otherwise you're just kind of a
Okay.
freak. Like,
Right, right. Okay. I think I might choose Pokemon then. I think
okay,
just because yeah, I think that the Avatar world comes with a lot more like, you know, as much as it would be cool to build like be an earthbender and like build whole cities on my
hmm
free time, I think you what you said about like yeah, like there's kind of like latent violence, like suddenly you're like having to like it would get too scary almost
yeah,
having everyone else be like earthbending and firebending like I don't know.
no, I
Whereas
know what you mean.
Pokemon is just like pretty like casually like, oh hey, you want to go catch some Pokemon outside? Until someone shows up with like Deoxys and like tries to kill you.
Just you're
Um,
like your family. I gassed them. They're gone. You're like, oh my god.
with that the one that's like two balls or whatever,
Oh yeah, yeah. That like Team
that
Rocket has or
Pokemon.
whatever.
Yeah, that
I just
guy
think life's
just
simpler and safer as a Pokemon trainer, and
for sure.
so I think I'd go with the Pokemon trainer. What about you?
Yeah, yeah, I think Pokemon trainer as well.
Okay. All right, so this is the last segment. We're gonna wrap it up here. This is called the Last Resort Media. This is where we like I started this during quarantine, so you can like shout out, maybe like a movie you watched lately that you thought was good, TV shows, music. I kind of give the listeners new things to check out. So for
Okay,
me, I watched, besides Sorplecum, Poseltoy, which I highly recommend. The rating scale we use here is 1, 2, and 3. 1 is you don't need to see it. 2 is you should see it. 3 is a must see, and that's kind of how
okay,
we,
that's a
you know.
great rating scale. Yes.
Yeah, I got to shout out my boy Dio Reynoso. He's the one who came up with it, but it's became like the official of the pod because it keeps it so simple. Like, because if I
Yeah.
say to you like a 7 out of 10, that might be a great rating to some people, but that in other
Right.
scales you look at, that's a C. Like that's not a good
Right. Yeah.
grade.
Yeah.
So it's just simpler. So I watched 30 Minutes or Less, which is like an old comedy that has to do with like robbing a bank, and it has like Michael Cera, Jesse Eisenberg, like all those guys in it. Um, I would give that one a 2. It's not a 3, but it was pretty good. Um, I think Max is frozen, or you're sitting like insanely still. Yeah, he froze, guys. It's okay. This podcast used to be solo. I'll keep talking about my stuff until he is able to kind of reconnect back into it. Um, I also watched King Kong, the one from '06 with Jack Black. Such a good movie, dude. I know it is 3 hours and 7 minutes, but that's a 3. So beautifully shot and so cool. Um, and yeah, I love that one. Oh shoot. Okay, so he's gone now. If you're watching the recording, he lagged out. I assume he's going to join back in. If not, I'll wrap up the podcast and plug all this stuff, but I think he should be back in. And then TV shows, I started watching WandaVision. It's good. It's a little slow. It's a slow burn, but as you know, a Marvel fan, I'm going to watch it. I've also been watching old boxing fights, like Mike Tyson's old fight, Corrales versus Castillo. I watched Robbie Lawler versus McDonald. Um, those have been great, and I've been getting in. I haven't watched or checked out his new music as much. I'm texting him right now to rejoin, because I've been playing a lot of video games again. I've been playing Call of Duty Zombies, which is exciting to play that again. It's like reliving my childhood. But yeah, that's all I've been watching. At this point, guys, I don't know if Max is going to be able to get back in. I think his like whole internet might have crashed over there, because we didn't even get the like it was just a straight lag out. So if he's not able to come back in, guys, please go check out his movie. It was truly really good, and I know you might think I'm biased, but it made me laugh so hard. Oh, here he is, guys. He's coming back in right now. Let's get him back into the podcast. He should be coming back in right now. Welcome back, buddy. It's connecting your audio right now, so I don't know if you can hear me. We can't quite hear you yet. It says your audio can't connect. There we go. Welcome back.
Okay. Yes, I'm on my phone now, so
No, you're all good. We're wrapping
better.
up the podcast at this point. I just talked about some stuff I've
Mhm.
seen. Is there any like shows or movies recently you checked out that you really want to plug?
I've not been watching enough movies, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading a lot of books. Okay, I did read, I don't know if there are any Junji Ito fans in the audience. He's like a horror manga guy.
Yeah.
But I got this book recently, Ramina, and I was expecting, because most of his stuff is like crazy body horror and like just really campy, like goofy looking, like demons and stuff.
Yeah.
But this one was just not doing it for me. It was like, it just wasn't that scary, and there wasn't that like much like, in it really.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I thought was great, they just like would go, they would just go over.
Yeah.
It's about like a huge planet coming to Earth and like causing everyone to go crazy, which sounds awesome enough, but they just didn't do anything with it.
I get you, yeah.
So, I guess if you're a Junji Ito stan, he did like Uzumaki. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not a very good reader.
I mean, these are comic books. These are comics.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I just started.
Yeah,
I've been reading a lot of Star Wars comic books lately, and like part of my 2021 was to like read more. So I read a comic a day because they're short. So I'm going through the Vader comics right now.
Oh, sick. Yeah, are they the new ones or the old?
The 2017 Vader comics. So there's like 25 issues. I think I'm on issue 15, and they're not a hard read. It's like a 10 to 15 minutes. I'm done with one, and they're enjoyable. They're super cool if you're into Star Wars. And I found like a really nice website where you can read comic books for free, and they're all
those are always the best. I end up buying them just because I like the books in my hands. But
yeah, I totally get that.
But yeah. People are sleeping on comics, man. They're the best. I love.
No, they are, and it's so cool to have like actual imagery with your thing. Because I always joke and argue that like I hate people who are like the book is so much better than the movie, and it's like, okay, yes, there's more detail, but your imagination isn't as good as like Steven Spielberg's $250 million budget. So
right.
or CGI. So like, let's give the movie some credits, but comic books kind of give you that like that kind of best of both worlds. Like you get some cool pictures, you get way more detail and lore than can be explained in most movies. So I think people really do sleep on comics.
For
Is there anything
sure.
else you want to plug? Otherwise, I'm going to give you the floor to kind of plug your stuff.
Not that I can think of, unfortunately. Let me
Okay.
just actually go into the archives and see what movies I've watched recently, because I will
Yeah,
talk about a movie.
Yeah, no, go
Oh,
ahead.
I watched Superman Red Sun.
Okay.
Have you heard of that? It's like an
Is it a
animated Superman film.
No, I haven't. Is it good?
It came out this year. I thought that the beginning of it was like pretty cool actually, because like it basically Superman is like it's like the Cold War.
Okay.
Superman is a Soviet Russian hero or whatever,
Yeah.
and Lex Luthor is an American,
Okay.
and so it's like Lex Luthor keeps coming up with like crazy like capitalist schemes to like kill Superman, the Russian Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and like ends up making Bizarro and stuff, and like Bizarro
That's really
blows up
cool.
because he's like, yeah, they have all these great tie-ins to like the Superman universe, but they just put them in like Soviet, Cold War era like speak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also Superman like kills Stalin and like kind of becomes like the leader of the USSR.
That's
And so
sick.
Superman is just like making a utopia. And it's like awesome to see like Superman like actually like, build something, as opposed to like whatever he's doing in the other Superman universes.
That sounds really cool, dude.
It's awesome up until like the second half. And then in the second half, they like feel too compelled to like go with how history worked, which was, the United States prevailing over the USSR.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like kind of make Superman like suddenly schizophrenic. Like he's like the whole movie he's been,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, I want to make a utopia, and like I killed Stalin because Stalin used, forced labor to build the thing. I'm going to build it with just the will of the people and a utopian vision. But then suddenly he's also using forced labor, like with these like brainiac
Okay.
people.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what are they doing now?
Yeah.
And then they, Lex Luthor, who was the whole time the scheming, like evil dude, like so bad,
Mm-hmm.
suddenly becomes like the president of the United States and is like a good guy.
Oh,
And
what?
he's like, I knew you'd do it, Superman. Now you just have to leave it to us humans to take on the. And then they, I'm not going to, get into the details of how it ends up happening.
I get you though.
But they just eventually they just are like, okay, Superman goes home and America wins. But that first like hour, I want to say, is actually really good because it's like Superman taking on like a utopia, which is so just it was just like actually interesting. So I would say maybe I'd give it a 2.
Okay. It sounds interesting. I think I'm actually gonna to check that out because I like that, and I kind of like you've seen Into the Spider-Verse, that Spider-Man one.
Yeah.
I took so long to see it, and I finally saw it like a couple months ago, and I thought I was like blown away with how good it was. So I think I'll check this one out. It sounds like it could be kind of similar.
Yeah, the animation is not special. There's nothing like there's nothing like Into the Spider-Verse level like amazingness. But it's at least an interesting take on Superman, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, dude, we're gonna wrap this up. So I want to give you a second to kind of plug your stuff, tell them where they can find the movie, your Instagram. Otherwise, all of this will be in the bio too. But I like to give you a second to maybe plug anything else you want to.
Yes, let me do that. Go see Next Generation Sorplecum Poseltoy.
Watch it, motherfuckers.
Frickin' watch it, gosh darn it.
Yeah.
It's on you can check out my Instagram at it's at Sorplecum _Poseltoy not .com, but just at Sorplecum _Poseltoy on Instagram. just if you can't spell it, then you don't get to watch the movie.
The link will be in the
And,
bio because, guys, I'm not good at spelling either. I got you.
Yeah. Please link it. Just check out the link in the bio. It's on YouTube at Bugzone. My YouTube is Bugzone 2019, or is it just regular Bugzone? You'll see it there.
Yeah.
Basically, my stuff is impossible to find. Just look at the link in the bio.
So it makes it fun, guys. It's like a scavenger hunt. But yeah, everything's linked.
Yeah.
If you want to check it out, I'm telling you, it's a good fun watch. It's not a 3-hour movie or anything. It's a great length, really enjoyable. Dude, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Of
really
course. Thank you for
it.
having me on.
No, it was a blast. And to the listeners, guys, if this is your first time listening or your 45th time listening, I really appreciate you. Again, this Friday, if you're listening, 1/29, I'm supposed to be on an outdoor comedy show. Tickets are $10, maybe $5 if you buy them before. The flyer is now photoshopped between me. The flyer will be on my Instagram. There is a chance that it gets postponed because there is a big chance of rain on Friday. I'm waiting to hear about that. There'll be updates on my Instagram, guys. There's I still got stickers available for free. After this, I'll get your I'll send them to you, or maybe I'll see you before you leave to New York, and I can give you a few of those.
Yes. Please
and yeah, otherwise, guys, thank you again for listening, and most importantly, thank you for letting us be your last resort. See ya.
This has been a Your Last Resort production.